Hello, my name is Frank Silverman. I'm the Executive Director for Martial Arts Industry Association. This may be your first time ever watching an instructor video if you're a new member, or you could have been a member for the past 3 years. But I think you're going to find today's DVD very, very, very helpful in running and growing your school, regardless if you're a brand new member or if you've been a member for many, many months. It's a little different than our regular DVDs because although I help with the instructor videos and I link the pieces together, today I'm going to be the only person you see on this month's instructor DVD. And I really highly suggest that whether you're an owner, operator, instructor, or you have team members or staff members, as many people call them, I really think this is a good DVD for you to watch and view together. Starting next month, we'll be back to regular where we'll have our segments, including Master Dave Kovar. And actually, it was Master Dave Kovar who gave me the idea for this specific DVD. He says one of the most powerful things about the Maya videos is that when people watch them, it's kind of like the dad who talks to the child or the mom who talks to the child and says, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. They hear it over and over and over again, but they still do it anyway. But when they hear a friend tell them not to do something, all of a sudden, ding, 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 it makes a whole lot of sense. So that's who I'm going to be today for whoever is watching this video. I'm going to talk to you about stuff you've probably heard before, stuff that you know is true, but for some reason we may or may not always implement these topics, or we might forget about them, or we might just be lazy sometimes and we don't implement them. So this DVD is broken into really 3 different sections. It's broken into work ethic, being a good team member, and growing your school. All 3 of these topics and everything in these topics ultimately are your responsibility. I say your responsibility for whoever is watching this DVD. See, it doesn't matter what your role is at your school. If you're the instructor, you're the front desk person, you're an assistant instructor, head instructor, all of this is very pertinent information because the key word that I said was it's your responsibility. It might not be your job to do something, but ultimately we're all responsible for every aspect of what goes into the school. For example, it might not be your job to make sure the school is clean every day, but you're responsible for having a clean school there. That's very important. It may not be your job to teach the classes, but the classes have to be taught, so we all have to be responsible for that. So I'm going to take things right from the very beginning, the second you walk into the door, and that's the topic that I start with, work ethic. Work ethic means being on time. I know you've heard this a million times. I have to remind myself sometimes that being on time is important. I had an instructor once, and this is a little exaggerated, but he would say, if you can't get to class on time, how do you expect to have good enough timing to block a punch? Well, of course, that's a little exaggerated, but the point is really the same. Getting to where you have to be on time is very, very important. Master Kovar says it's better to be a half hour early than a minute late. I believe that. So let's make sure if we've got to get up a half hour early to be to work on time, let's do it. If we've got to leave an hour early to beat the traffic to get to work on time, let's do it. But be on time. Now, you're at the school, you're there on time. Guess what? We don't go to work, any work, not just at a martial arts school, but we don't go to any work to take a break. We go to work, and then maybe there's time to have a cup of coffee, grab a lunch, but we surely don't go to work at 12 o'clock in the afternoon or 9 o'clock in the morning only to stop for a second and go get a cup of coffee. No, we go to work. Be prepared the second you walk in the door to work, to do what needs to be done. That's very, 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 very important. Now, one other thing that's very important that goes with walking to school, you have to have a clean school. It is everybody's job to ensure that you have a clean, tidy school. Now, you may say, well, I'm the instructor. That's not my job. It is your job because it's your responsibility. You may say, I'm the front desk person. The floor is not my job to keep that clean. It is your job because it's your responsibility. So, be to work on time. Keep a tidy, clean school. What else? Answer the phone with a smile. Very important part of work ethic. Don't answer the phone. My school's names are Central Florida Championship Karate. Don't answer the phone. Championship Karate, how may I help you? It's hard not to be positive sounding when you smile and answer the phone. So the key you should remember is smile when you answer the phone. Championship Karate, how may I help you? Very, very important. People can feel your energy, not just when you're with them in person, but they can feel it over the phone. Be excited, be positive, express that, and answer the phone with a smile. Next thing, always has a positive attitude. Nothing can bring people down more than conversing or talking with somebody who is anything less than positive. Now, you may be having a horrible day, and you may say, I just can't do that, but you can. You have to. When you go to work, you're there to be positive. People come to the school not to be brought down. They come to the school to be pulled up. Now, let's go on to the next subject of being a professional team member. I use the word team to mean staff or employees. But the next thing is we all need to be professional. You know what it's like when you go into any place that you frequent and you don't get good service or you get non-professional service. Whether it's a restaurant, a surf store, anything, you know what it's like not to have professional service, and people come to our business to get professional service as well. So these are some touchy subjects I'm going to talk about, and it's something that you should talk to your specific supervisor or manager or instructor about. But the first thing about being professional is always look sharp, dress right, have a clean, good-looking uniform. That's really important. You don't want to have the ragged out, dirty uniform, which also goes with make sure your hygiene is correct. You should have combed hair, always shave. I've sent people home before when they're not clean shaven. That's important. We don't want to have a 2-day-old look on the beard. Okay? Very important. Clean uniform. Body odor. Are you wearing deodorant? That's important. You're going to be training, possibly if your role is an instructor, make sure you have a deodorant on so you don't smell afterwards. Because you know what? A student is not going to tell you, you smell. But you know what? They're not going to want to come to class if they have to work out with an instructor who just isn't clean. Very, very important. Next on being professional is we don't date students. Okay? Because the chances are you're not going to get married to that specific student. I say that saying that I actually married one of my instructors later on after they had received black belt, but I'm also telling you statistically you will not marry one of your students, and that student eventually will quit. There's millions of people out in the world. You can find the right person. Don't find them in your own personal, don't go fishing in your own swimming pool, actually is a phrase I'm looking for. So we don't date students, and we surely don't date around on a regular basis with our students. Next thing, no hanging out and partying with students. If you're on the younger side, and maybe you're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, or for that matter, you can be any age, we don't go out, hang out, and party with our students. Okay? You cannot gain any more respect from your students than you already have right now. So if you can't gain more respect, you only can lose it. And partying, hanging out with them can only perpetuate that. Definitely no hanging out with your students. Next thing goes along with dating and goes along with not hanging out with your students, but absolutely, positively, no fraternizing, hanging out, playing around, talking on the phone with underage students. This isn't only for male team members, it's for female team members as well. We do not hang out and talk with underage students. It's not appropriate and it's wrong. It can only lead you in a very bad situation and can only put your school in a very bad situation. Nothing positive comes from that. We don't want to give any illusion of wrongdoing going on. Very, very, very important. The next topic we go into, or the third topic, is growing your school. Again, I want to reiterate for everybody that it is everybody's responsibility to do these things. It's everybody's responsibility, no matter what your job is in the school. It's your responsibility to help grow that school. So the very first thing is recruiting new students. How many friends do you have, and how many of your friends are in martial arts class? If the answer is none, let's get some of those friends. If the answer is no friends, well, let's meet some friends. If the answer is no, none of your friends are in class, let's get them in. You should be proud to be a martial arts instructor or on the team of your martial arts school. That's very, very important. But it's your job to recruit. When you go out to lunch, hand out a business card. When you go through the parking lot, put a flyer on the cards. Whatever it takes, you need to be responsible for helping get new students in the door. Because in the end, that is our business, new students. And if we don't have new students, we don't have jobs. The next thing, it's your job to help upgrade, assuming that you have an upgrade program. Upgrade program means black belt training, leadership program, master's club, whatever you may call it. It is your job to help upgrade and sell the other products. So if you don't have an upgrade program, maybe you have pizza parties. It's your job to help sell pizza parties or movie nights or seminars. Everybody's responsible for doing that. Even if you do not get paid for an upgrade or for a special event, it's your job to help that, because that's what helps grow the school. We all benefit when the school grows simply by having job security. The next thing is, it's your job to help sell retail items. Okay, well, one way you do this is by, again, wearing clean uniforms, crisp uniforms. Next thing you can do is using product when you teach. Okay? Keeping the pro rack clean. When's the last time you, whoever's watching this, dusted off the pro rack? When's the last time you talked to your senior instructor and said, would it be okay for me to reorganize the pro rack to make it more appealing to people who come and watch class? When's the last time you suggested to a parent that, hey, it'd be a good time for little Johnny or little Joe to buy sparring gear now so they can participate more in the sparring classes, or whatever your school typically does. But it's all your responsibility, even if it's not your job, because we all want to have longevity in our professions. We all want to eventually make more money. We all want to reap the rewards of a successful school. So it's important that we all do all of these items that I've listed. As we conclude, I hope everybody's enjoyed this DVD. I hope you didn't feel like this was your dad saying, you need to do this, you need to do this. Maybe I hope it was your dad saying you need to do this, because these are things that are really, really, really important. These are some topics we'll be discussing at the Martial Arts Super Show being held in July. I look forward to seeing everybody there, and I surely look forward to seeing everybody on the next Instructor's DVD.